Hello, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to safely ship pinned insects from one place to another. I've used this to ship large collections within the US and with good success. The goal when shipping insects is to get them to your desired destination with as few broken specimens as possible, and so this video is going to show you some tips and tricks on how to make that happen. The first step is to pin your insects in the appropriate container. You're going to want to pick something like this that's designed for pinning insects and has a stiff foam in the bottom. I believe these are plastizote foam. The next thing is you're going to want to go through and push all of your specimens all the way through the foam and into the cardboard. You don't want to have them sitting like this, just kind of in the surface, because they'll wiggle around. So go through all of them and pin them all the way as deep as they'll go. And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to actually pick up just the corner and you're going to tap it against the table like this and see if anything's moving. If something is big or if it's not pinned all the way through, it may shake. And so I'll show you, if I don't pin this all the way down, you can see that wiggles a lot, which we don't want. So we'll push that through. The next thing is you're going to want to brace any large insects. So any large beetles, these big hemipterans, orthopterans especially, anything that you think will spin or break off, you want to secure. So to do that, you're going to grab a few pins, and I like to put 2 in the front and 2 in the back to secure it. And so just to show you what I mean, I would do something like this. And these pins are basically going to be touching the insect if you can get away with it. And so now I've got 4 pins, and that is not going to go anywhere. I also angle the pins a little bit, so you can see with this pin, instead of going straight down, you're going to angle it a little bit so that you're really anchoring the insect there. Again, you do this for any really large insects and anything that will spin. So large orthopterans, for example, even if you pin it all the way through into the foam, the back end may swing around and that can ruin your specimens. So once you're confident that everything has been pinned in securely and they've all been braced, I would brace all of these for sure. I may even add 1 or 2 to these bigger ones. But anyway, once everything has been pinned and braced, what you're going to do is you're going to get some cotton balls and you're just going to shred it like this a little bit and fluff it up a bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to put it in the corners of the box and pin it down with a few pins. Now, the reason you do this is because even if you do everything right, some parts of bug are going to break off. It could be the head might fall off of something, legs come off, and that's just part of shipping insects, that's going to happen. By adding these little pieces in the corners, they almost act like a net. They're going to catch, or hopefully they catch anything that breaks off and secures it into a corner, as opposed to bouncing around during shipping and acting like a little wrecking ball. So what I do now is just push this in. If you have like number 3 pins, that can help with this a little bit. Sometimes they will bend, the pins will bend. And so, yeah, something like that. Doesn't have to be anything crazy, and it may not do anything. But when I did this, I did have a couple legs break off of some larger orthopterans that did spin. I probably should have braced them more, and they got caught in there. They hooked into the cotton, and that probably saved some of my other specimens from getting destroyed. Okay, so once you are confident that everything in the box is ready to go, you're going to take your lid, place it on top. Again, I really like this type of a container that's designed for pinning insects because they will come with a lid like this. And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take some rubber bands and you're going to secure the lid to the box like this. And I'm going to add 3 rubber bands, which may be overkill. But again, the goal when shipping insects is to mitigate any movement at all and keep them as secure as possible. So, you know, you spent a lot of time collecting these, working on these collections, and you don't want to have them break just because you didn't properly ship them. So I did 3 like that. And then I also stretched 1 all the way across the front. Like this. And so I am confident that this lid is not coming off. It's not going anywhere. If I move this, I'm confident, again, that nothing in there is going anywhere. The next step is to select the appropriate box that you're going to put everything into. It should be 2 to 3 inches wider on all sides than your box. So you should be able to put this in a larger box and have 2 to 3 inches of styrofoam on all sides. With my particular box, which I'll show you in a sec, it was a little bit too big, and so it actually made sense for me to get 2 of these boxes and stick them together like this. So I again would secure this entire box, which I won't go through the whole process, but I would secure this box just like the one below it, and then I actually rubber banded the entire thing together. So if you're shipping multiple boxes within a box, you want to keep them close. So just like with the first box, I'm gonna go like this. Add a couple there. And then I was even able to get 1 really big rubber band and go all the way across the whole thing. Whew, that one broke. Try again. There we go. Okay, so you see now I have 2 boxes with bugs. They are bound together and neither of these are going to separate. Nothing's going to move. Lids are secured. And now this is ready to go into our larger box. Okay, so what I've done is I've grabbed my box. This is actually the box that I used to ship these bugs in. This is a FedEx box, and you can see it's got some labels on the side, which we'll talk about in a sec. But what you're going to do is, again, select an appropriate outer box. You want it to give 2 to 3 inches of cushion on all sides. So what we're going to do is, you tape the bottom of the box just like you would for shipping anything. I would tape the sides as well. You really want to ensure that this box isn't going to fall apart. And next, you're going to buy some packing peanuts, and you're going to load up the bottom couple inches. So you want an equal amount of space on the bottom and the top of your inner box, which is the box the bugs are in. So you're going to do something like that. It's probably good. So you're now going to take your boxes. One thing I would recommend is to fill right here, just say if lost, return to, and then add your address, because the inner box is what we really care about. If for some reason the boxes get opened and things get lost, you want someone to know where these are supposed to go. But you'll just place those right there in the center. And then, let's see if I can straighten this a little bit. So it may be kind of hard to see, but I have about 2 inches from this to the top. I've got a few inches on all sides, and then I have a couple inches of this down at the bottom. So our inner box is in the center of this larger box. And now all we got to do is fill it in. Using some foam here. Now I would recommend buying more of these peanuts than you think you'll need. Otherwise you'll have to take multiple trips to the shipping store. And so I've made a bit of a mess here, but what you're gonna do now is just kind of pat them down. And I may have a little bit too many here, so I might actually take some out. You want to make sure that these fill in any empty space, but this is the one time you actually want to make sure that there can be some movement. If you pack these peanuts in so tight that they don't move at all, then, or they have no ability to move, then you kind of lose their cushioning ability. So yeah, maybe we'll try that. So these are all filled in, kind of shake them to settle, and now we're just gonna tape it up. So I've got some tape here, and I'm gonna have to kind of get down here. And this may be a little difficult. I would do this with a friend if you can. I'm actually gonna tape this way first. Okay, so we've taped it like that. Okay, now we're gonna tape the edges. You do not want to skimp out on the tape. There we go. And I am doing this kind of quickly. If this were insects that I were really shipping, I may spend a little bit more time being more precise with how I'm taping all this. And I would like trim these edges and stuff. But you're gonna tape the whole thing just like that. Okay, so again, I would be a little more precise if I were doing this for sure. I would make sure this gap wasn't here, and I would push this in a little bit. But for demonstration purposes, this works. Now, to make sure you did it right, you want to pick it up and kind of shake it. And you shouldn't hear anything. Maybe the foam settling a tiny bit, but it should be quiet in here. And that means everything is nice and tight and packed in, and stuff isn't going to bump and rustle around and break off. So the last step is to take this box to your postal office. I have been told by others, and I have personally used FedEx shipping with their Fragile service. And so FedEx Fragile, it was pretty expensive, but worth it because they will take care of your insects. Now, when you're in the post office, I would have them add as many of these labels as they can. I had them do Fragile, handle with care on every side, along with a this side up label on all sides, just to really ensure that these don't get flipped upside down, they don't get kicked to your porch or anything. And then, yeah, the last thing is, I know some people on the sides of their boxes will put insects for scientific use, no monetary value. I've heard mixed reviews on this. Some people have told me that if you do that, people get curious and they open them up, and that's not great. So for me, I just ship them with the mystery, just have it be marked as Fragile, ship it as Fragile, and hopefully the service that you use respects that. And so, yeah, this is my guide on how to safely ship insects. Hopefully that works out for you, and that's everything.